Yo, what's good? If you saw my last video, I think it was my last video from last week about Hunter x Hunter 373. You heard my mixed thoughts on that chapter. But let me tell y'all something, man. Let me tell y'all something, man. Yes, Togashi is back, baby. Yoshihiro Togashi is back in prime form with chapter 374 of that Hunter x Hunter Beyond Greatness. It's been, I don't know how long, way too long since I've been hyped about an HxH chapter. Let me tell you something, man. There was a lull. Like, okay, we got to a point. Let me just get the lull out of the way. All right. I thought we was like gonna be too much exposition between the security guard of the 13th Prince and Kurapika. I'm like, bruh, don't do this to me, Togashi. Please don't do this to me. And that panel about all the 13 princes. I understand his detail and this and that was too much info. Like, I'm glad for info, but who really cares about that much info? Like, I guarantee it's going to be important down the line, but it just was bam, the classic Togashi style. Bam, just so much info. Now I guarantee you didn't do this in Yu Yu Hakusho. Just saying. Anyways, but besides that, there was no lows in this chapter. We got what I wanted to get. All right. There's something going on with the 13th Prince. My dog Hanzo, which I've wanted in the series for since pretty much the Hunter exam arc. All right. Hanzo is becoming a player. Biscuit Kruger's gonna be up in the game. So we got something going on with the 13th Prince's room. Some Nin ability. Possibly Guardian Beast. And I'm kind of going on that one because it doesn't make sense unless somebody else is another Nin user up in the game. I doubt that. And why mess with the 13th Prince? Unless you're just eradicating that specific queen's children. Because I did notice that it's the same queen of the 12th Prince who was murdered. All right. So there's that. And Kurapika doing what Kurapika does, which is good analytical. Kept it to a minimum. Good job, Togashi. Then we go with the whole, we don't know what the first prince, like it seems like the first prince's, Benjamin's bodyguards all have their own agendas going on and all have their own ways of serving Benjamin, which is very fascinating. It kind of reminds me in One Piece where you have these strong-willed captains like Shanks, Luffy, Roger, Big Mom, the various Yonkos, and their commanders are just monsters in their own right, especially their first mates, vice captains, first division commanders. So that's what I got out of that one, and it's just very interesting. I love the fact that we're getting explanation. What did I say last video? If you watch that video, we need explanations on Nen, bro. We need explanation on that. We got explanations on conjuration. We got explanations on manipulation, which was phenomenal. Thank you, Togashi. I need understanding. Because, and especially considering the fact that we've seen so many specialists, honestly. We've seen enhancers. We haven't really seen any of the other four. We haven't seen much out of the emitters. We've seen a little bit. We haven't seen definitely almost anything out of manipulators, almost anything out of conjurers. We've seen abilities, but we haven't really seen much. We've seen a bunch out of the transmutation, so it's good that we're getting some explanation out of the other abilities. I still think there could be a seventh category, but it's also good that we're getting some clarification on these Nin beasts. There seems to be speculation, but there seems to be an understanding also of what Nin beasts are by these Nin users, which is very fascinating. I also love the fact that these Nin beasts are making moves, even though we're not even 2 days into this. All right, y'all, we 37 hours and 30 minutes. So what is Togashi doing? Is the voyage not even gonna make it there? Because he's dragging this out time wise. All right, so I'm kind of fascinated. Is body's just going to hit the floor? Body's going to drop? Is Corolla Lucifer in them? Is unlikely alliances going to be made? Like, there's a lot of things being set up by Togashi in this very chapter alone. Like, a lot more than some of these previous chapters. Like, he made waves with this chapter. The Ace Prince's manipulation. That, yo, Togashi, this is the kind of writing of why I love Hunter x Hunter. This is the kind of writing of why it's that hype. This is some of that detailed writing that you saw a little bit in Heaven's Arena arc. It's some detailed writing a little bit that you saw in the mini arc of the Zodiac family. It's the kind of detail, right, you saw somewhat and the Greed Island, and it's definitely the detailed writing you saw in Chimera Ant arc. Uh, Hunter Election arc, which is my favorite arc, completely different, but you saw little bits and pieces there. And this more of this kind of chapter and less of that other stuff, man. Really, I understand that Togashi's trying to set things up, but you got to organically set up. Oda, Mitsutoshi, and some others do it phenomenally and fluidly. And so Togashi, it's sometimes almost like he's trying to write a novel and a manga, and it doesn't translate in the same manner. So he's trying to introduce a lot of characters into one and play off of it, but it's also very difficult to follow. It's also very difficult to execute when you're doing it in a limited amount of space. You can say, well, you got 18 pages a chapter, but manga panels aren't that, they're not that expansive. So, I also got to say his art game was better this chapter than in some previous chapters. So I'm glad about that, man. I'm glad about that. Unexpected Wonder, like, I'm subscribed. Give me your thoughts. I'm just glad that Hunter x Hunter stopped playing games. I said the last chapter. Stop playing games this chapter. Thank you. Please continue this role. I love me some Hunter x Hunter, but sometimes, man, it be dry. Right now, this is not dry, dog. Right now, this is on point.